but he ended up with the win. It was just one of those things where Bronson Arroyo gave up some wrong hits at the wrong time, but he's coming off one of his best outings ever. A 2-hit shutout, complete game against the Washington Nationals this last weekend. So you got to figure that he's in the groove right now, and it's a good thing for Bronson Arroyo to be towing that rubber for the Reds because he's as hot as anybody in baseball with the way he's been pitching.
He has 4 straight quality starts, and here's the Giants lineup that he will face tonight, courtesy of U.S. Bank. For San Francisco, they will have, as the leadoff man, Eugenio Velez playing second base tonight. Edgar Renteria, Nate Shearholtz, the top 3. The middle 3, Benjamin Molina in the cleanup spot. Randy Wynn, plus 300 on the road this year, out of the number 5 hole. And there's Ryan Garco, hero last night for San Francisco, out of the 6th spot. The bottom 3, Aaron Rowand in center. Juan Uribe switches over to third base this evening. And the left-hander Barry Zito will bat 9th and do the pitching for San Francisco. Here's a look at the right-hander. Bronson Arroyo, 11 up, 11 down, a 4.74 ERA. But as I said, Chris, 4 straight quality starts coming into this one, and arguably the best start in his career last time out.
One thing you can say about Bronson Arroyo, you take a look at the numbers right here. He's had 24 starts and 22 decisions. So he hangs around to let you know whether he's going to be a winner or a loser. He's not one of these guys that goes 5 innings and flies. Yes, he's had some horrible games in which he's given up a lot of runs. That's why his earned run average is up closer to 5 than it is to 3. But he makes it look so easy in those games in which he's rolling along. It looks like he's just flipping up a Frisbee, and they simply can't figure it out. Hopefully that'll be the kind of game that he has tonight. With different angles on his breaking ball, he'll be able to neutralize most of the right-handers in his Giants lineup.
Well, we will have about a 41-minute or so rain delay as the leadoff hitter Velez walks to the plate for San Francisco. This is the 14th time this year that the Reds have been delayed by rain, and of those 14, 11 of them here at Great American Ballpark. Eugenio Velez, who played in left field last night, plays at second base tonight, will lead it off for San Francisco. Edgar Renteria, Nate Shearholtz to follow. Game 1 went 10 last night. The Giants won that 8-5. This is game 2 of the series and game 5 of the 6 games between these two teams this year. First one misses for a ball, and we are underway from Great American Ballpark. Official rain delay time, 40 minutes here in Cincinnati. Velez is hitting .310 with 3 home runs and 14 batted in. This is his better side, the left side, hitting .355 from this side of the plate, under 200 at 182 from the right side. This is a versatile young man, isn't it?
Well, it certainly is. A switch hitter with speed. He slaps the ball all over the place. He did some time in the minor leagues, but he's come back very hot.
He will see a variety of breaking stuff from Arroyo, won't he?
You know, it's almost like seeing a modern-day Louis Tiant. He doesn't, you know, he's got an unusual motion, doesn't twist like Tiant, but Tiant used to give you different angles, all the way from down around the knees to overhand. Changing speeds, he'll go one pitch at that one 89 to 90 miles an hour, and the next pitch it won't be a changeup, it won't be a fastball, it'll be somewhere in between. He calls it a BP fastball or a dead fish. He'll throw it up there at 82 or 83. He is a tough guy to figure out how to chart, I can tell you that.
Velez has had some success against Arroyo in his career, 3 out of 7. You know, you're talking about Louis Tiant. He particularly went to a lot of that changing arm angles and different deliveries when he got older in his career.
I played winter ball with him when he was older down in Venezuela, and he used everything except the kitchen sink, and sometimes maybe even that.
Bruce Bochy's Giants battling both in the National League West race and the National League wild card race. Chance out and left for Ballantine, and that's the way this one gets going. A fly ball out to left by Velez. 1 out. Take a look at our Ford defensive setup for the Cincinnati Reds of Dusty Baker tonight. Across the outfield, Ballantine, there's Stubbs making his major league debut in center, along with Johnny Gomes. Left side of the infield, Adam Rosales and Paul Janisch. Right side is Phillips and Votto, your battery of Hannigan and Arroyo. And he has caught Arroyo, I guess, in every start he has made this year.
Well, just about. You know, what a very young ball club the Reds are running out there tonight. Bronson Arroyo, the oldest one on the ball club by far. And everybody else really fewer than 3 major league years of service time, even less than 2 years. Well, I guess Phillips has got a little more than that, but still a very, very young ball club the Reds are running out there. Maybe you look into the future.
Newest member, of course, Stubbs, 24 years old. There's that look we talked about last night. Renteria closed. Velez, who starts it off very open. Renteria with 1 hit last night and 5 ABs, scored a run as part of that big 4-run sixth that tied the game at 5. He has a 6-game hitting streak as we start action tonight. He went fishing on that one, came up empty, and that's the second out of the inning. And we were talking Louis Tiant. Here's a look at El Tiante.
You know, leave it to Matt Sigafus to come up with this kind of video, but how about the different arm angles? He's just, sometimes it's overhand, sometimes it's sidearm. He's trying to always be deceptive, and I think that Bronson Arroyo, he gets it. It's the same way. When Tiant was on, he made it look so easy, and the same thing for Arroyo. Both coincidentally played for the Red Sox.
Probably the only time when he was on the mound when Louis Tiant didn't have a cigar in his mouth. 2 men out, nobody on here in the top of the first. Schierholtz, who had a pinch hit last night, one of the preeminent pinch hitters in Major League Baseball this year. He is second with a .419 average as a pinch hitter. They did retire him last night, but it was, Chris, you talked about on Monday, he had the big pinch hit double. It was almost a grand slam that helped defeat New York in New York.
He's got plenty of power. He does not get cheated up there. He's got a good batting average against left-handers, and Arroyo's going to pitch him very carefully.
Just shy of 300 overall at 295. First chance for Stubbs as he chases this one and doesn't get it. It rolls to the wall. Schierholtz gets himself a 2-out double. And a scoring chance here in the top of the first for San Francisco.
Boy, Schierholtz really hits this ball hard. I think it actually fools Drew Stubbs coming off the bat. He didn't think it was hit as hard as it was. Watch the angle that Stubbs takes on this ball, immediately going straight over towards left field right there. Think he's got a chance to cut it off, but that ball is hit way too hard for him, and it gets by him off the wall. One hops that wall, and Schierholtz with a double. That kid hits the ball hard.
14th two-base hit for Schierholtz and an RBI opportunity for their cleanup man, Benji Molina. Stubbs got to run around out there a little bit, break a little sweat. His first action as a major leaguer. We mentioned the 6th. He is the 6th Reds player to make his debut this year, along with Carlos Fisher and Matt Maloney, Robert Manuel. Those are the pitchers. Drew Sutton and Craig Tatum, the other two, make their major league debut here in 2009. Molina at 262, 15 home runs, 63 runs batted in. Hitless in the game last night. He was, in fact, the only Giants regular that did not have a hit last night when San Francisco pounded out a dozen a day after hitting 18 on the hit total, which was a season high for them in their 10-1 victory Monday in New York. Over near the Reds dugout and out of play. Again, the official delay time of this game, 40 minutes. A torrential downpour just around the top of the hour. It was raining so hard you could barely see the sun deck out there in right field. But as you can see, cleared off and very nice and comfortable now. Here to slip out of the hand of Arroyo there, 2-2. The 15 homers, 63 RBIs by Molina, second on this team behind Sandoval. Pablo not in the lineup tonight. Popped him up. Giannis, the shortstop, under it. And a 0 on the board here in the top of the first for Bronson Arroyo. A 2-out double and a man stranded, 1/2 inning complete. Brought to you by Chrysler. You talk, we listen. It's a new day. Chrysler, engineered beautifully. By State Farm, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. By Dodge, grab life. By Just for Men, stay in the game with Just for Men hair color. And by Skyline Chili. You know it's Skyline time when you get that craving for a Skyline 3-way or cheese conies. Game 2 of this 3-game series, the Giants and the Reds, and there's the man making his debut, Drew Stubbs, 24-year-old former University of Texas player.
6, Drew Stubbs.
His heart must be beating a mile a minute right now, Chris.
You know what? He's got butterflies the size of condors going on inside of his stomach. I can guarantee you that. What a nice young man. He's worked very hard to get here. He's had a very good year in AAA, so it's not like he has not earned his way to the major leagues. Yes, it took an injury to Willie Taveras for him to get the call up here in August, but here's Drew Stubbs ready to make his major league debut as a hitter.
268 with 3 and 39 is his power numbers down at Louisville in 102 games. Against the left-hander Barry Zito, who stands to the far left of the mound, and Stubbs hits the first pitch in the air. Caught by the left fielder Wynn. 1 pitch, 1 out. Big league debut for Drew Stubbs. Take a look now at the Reds starting lineup, courtesy of U.S. Bank. Dusty Baker sends this lineup out there tonight. Stubbs, then Giannis, then Votto. Middle 3, Brandon Phillips, Johnny Gomes, and Vladimir Valentin. And then the bottom 3, Adam Rosales, Ryan Hannigan, and Bronson Arroyo. Giannis elevated to the number 2 spot tonight at 206 with 4 runs batted in. Hoping that Drew Stubbs, although he hasn't hit for much power this year, he hit 3 in the regular season and he hit 1 in the International League in the AAA All-Star game representing the International League. He was looking to get a home run in his first major league plate appearance. The last Reds player to do that way back in 1950. Zito's going to have a chance, and he gets him at first base.
What a dandy of a play by Barry Zito right there. I'll tell you what, he bounced off the mound. You know, left-handers fall off towards third base, so he went opposite of where his momentum took him, and he had to throw around the runner as Giannis goes to first base. He really blocks the throwing lane. But he spins, throws. Garco really doesn't get much of a target, but he throws it the only spot he can to retire Giannis. A check swing out, but a great play by the Giants pitcher. That's a very athletic play.
Kevin Barker is going to stand in there and bat now for Joey Votto. We will attempt to ascertain the nature of what may be going on with Joey Votto, but he is in the lineup but now out, and so Kevin Barker will pinch hit for Votto here in the bottom of the first inning. Barker's made 2 appearances since being recalled from Louisville, 1 against Washington, and last night. Both have resulted in strikeouts. He faces the left-hander Barry Zito here in the bottom of the first. Kevin Barker at AAA has spent a lot of time, and he has spent 4 years, counting this year, wearing a Louisville uniform. We talked last night about him coming up through the Brewers organization in '98 and '99 at AAA, and then last year and this year in Louisville is the all-time Louisville franchise leader in home runs and RBIs and grand slams and doubles. He's worked hard to get back to where he is right now here in a major league uniform. He's called out on strikes, so the Reds go in order here in the bottom of inning number 1 with a strikeout that ends it of Kevin Barker.
Hey, you guys still have games with Atlanta, Chicago, Milwaukee. You can really help us out if you start playing some good baseball against those other teams. To which I reply, we're going to play some good baseball against you first.
Well, they have a big series at the end of this one here. They go from here to Colorado in a big series against that Colorado Rockies team.
Yeah, the longest road trip of the year for the Giants. It started 5 days, 4 games in New York. Then they come here for 3 and then to Colorado. Work their way back west.
Kevin Barker has taken over at first base. He was called out on strikes to end the bottom of the first, and he plays in the field for the first time in his career. First time he's played in the big leagues at first base. September the 3rd of 2006. That was with Toronto. Hitting it off here in the top of the second is Randy Wynn. They have but 2 of their 3 switch hitters in the lineup tonight, with Pablo Sandoval out of the lineup. Randy Wynn at 268 to start the game, and boy, he had, along with Garco, a big hit in that 6th inning last night. 2 out of 4 with a pair of RBIs and a couple of runs scored. Game 1 of this series. He becomes the 2nd strikeout victim for Bronson Arroyo tonight.
You know, Bronson Arroyo will top out his fastball somewhere around 91 miles an hour, maybe 92 on a good night. This one's 91 by the stadium gun, but he sets it up with all the slow stuff. And hitters don't hit the radar gun. They hit what they see, and they get used to seeing pitches at one speed, and then you zip one in at a different speed, and they can't take it. And that's the reason Arroyo is good, and he really gets it now as far as changing speeds. And it's something a lot of young pitchers can learn early on and get it early on if they practice what Arroyo does.
Here's Ryan Garco batting out of the number 6 spot, playing first base again this evening. 2 for 5 with 4 RBIs in last night's game. He had 4 RBIs as a Giant coming in to last night's contest. 2-run single capped that 4-run 6th, and then the 2-run double in the 10th inning gave the Giants a 7-5 lead at the time. He went on to score later, and they ended up winning in 10-8-5. Garco's 4 RBIs last night, not his season high, while with Cleveland earlier this year he had a 5 RBI game. He drops one in the left in front of Ballantine for a base hit, so that's hit number 2 for San Francisco. These Saturday afternoons were made for baseball, and this week Fox brings you the national game of the week as Mark Teixeira leads the Yankees into Fenway Park to battle Dustin Pedroia and the Boston Red Sox in a showdown between bitter AL East rivals. Saturday baseball this week on Fox at 4. Earlier this week, Boston dropped out of the lead in the wild card hunt. Kind of funny to see them not in a position that they are either leading the division or the wild card race here in the last 2 or 3 years. Yankees have had that tremendous run since the All-Star break, and in fact I believe the Yankees have the best record in baseball since the All-Star break. Unfortunately, the worst, Cincinnati, along with Baltimore at 8-23. Through the right side for Rowan, and a hit, back-to-back singles against the offerings of Bronson Arroyo.
Yeah, smart hitting right there by Aaron Rowan. He really all he wanted to do was to punch that ball to the right side, take a chance, would find the hole. He knew that Brandon Phillips is snugged over there towards second base. And Aaron Rowan, you can see the obvious, trying to hit that ball the other way, keeping his hands inside of it, and gets a little dribbler that goes into right field.
So the first scoring opportunity of this game goes to San Francisco. 2 on with 1 out. Juan Uribe, playing third base tonight, is up there. He played second base last night. I didn't mention last night his uncle Jose, of course, was a longtime San Francisco shortstop in the 80s.
I didn't know that was his uncle. He changed his name, wasn't it Hernandez, and then changed it back to Uribe? Not changed it, but I think it was one of the family names that he
used for a while and
yeah,
then
used and then went back to a different one.
Right.
Good player. Well, like uncle, like nephew. His uncle was a high ball hitter, and so is Juan. Keep the ball down and get a double play here.
He had that long ball in the third inning last night. It was his 6th of the year. Wynn struck out to start the inning. Garco singled in the left, and Rowan rolled one through the right side and into right. Bronson Arroyo with that shutout his last time out against Washington, the 2-hitter. 1 inning with a shutout baseball tonight, and 1 inning in the start prior to the Washington game. Comes into this inning with 11 consecutive shutout innings. Gets a strike in there at 3-1. He had a stretch earlier this year of 16 consecutive scoreless innings. Snapped in the first inning of a loss at Los Angeles on the 22nd of July. His career best is 17. And now he walks Uribe to load the bases.
That almost looked like a pitch around right there. You wouldn't think it would happen with first and second and 1 out, but you do have the pitcher coming up next. It just did not look like that Bronson Arroyo wanted to take a chance with Juan Uribe. Uribe has hit as many as 21 home runs in a year, making 23 home runs back with the Chicago White Sox. In fact, I think that he, as a White Sox player in interleague play, came in here and popped a few out in the weekend the White Sox came through a few years ago. He's got bases loaded now, does Arroyo.
They love a strikeout here. A bouncer right back to the mound. See what they can get. Towards second base. Phillips will step and throw, and that's a double play. And that gets the Reds through the top of the second. Nicely done. A 4 unassisted, 4-3 double play. At Great American Ballpark, in the midst of all that Cincinnati Reds red, ain't love grand, as Marty would say.
You're not kidding. Our own Jesse Jackson's son Jesse, and very lovely Audrey visiting the ball game. They must know somebody to get tickets right down there behind the third base dugout.
You notice, though, it is the third base dugout, not behind the Reds dugout.
Oh, that's all right. They came here and withstood a pretty good thunderstorm and a 40-minute rain delay, and hopefully watch the Reds win tonight.
Now, blue skies overhead now as Barry Zito goes back to the mound in the bottom of the second. He'll get the middle of the Reds order. Brandon Phillips, Johnny Gomes, Vladimir Valentin. After the Reds went down in order in inning number 1. Brandon at 262, 17 homers, 75 runs batted in. 4 out of 8 in his career against Zito for Brandon Phillips. Chris, this lineup didn't get any younger when Barker went in at first base, but it sure got a lot more inexperienced, didn't it?
Yes, it did, and you lose your best hitter in the lineup in Joey Votto, even when you face a left-hander like Barry Zito. I mean, he makes the lineup legit, so a lot of that responsibility now falls on Brandon. You just hope that Brandon Phillips doesn't try to do too much himself, realizing it's still a team game. But, you know, he figures that Zito doesn't have overpowering stuff, and he's going to get a fastball up. Zito's a fly ball hitter, and Brandon, you know, thinking about going yard. At least that's the way that first swing looked.
That's what it looked like on that one also, didn't it?
Trying to hit that ball to New Richmond. Pitch up in the zone, and Brandon looks like a little bit ahead of that pitch. I don't know whether that's a slider or a cutter, but Zito very much like Arroyo, changing speeds all the time.
That one just foul past third base. Uribe was down there. Late reaction went by him, went by the third base umpire, Lance Barksdale, pardon me, James Hoy. The count now even. There's a look at our third base umpire, James Hoy. Good job to lay off that pitch. And it'll get a full count delivery to look at here from Barry Zito. Uribe, and across the diamond and out. Phillips is gone. Batter will be Johnny Gomes. Here's a look at the Giants' defensive setup behind Barry Zito. Our forward defensive look. Wynn, Rowan, Shearholtz, the outfield left to right. Uribe, Renteria, Velez, and Garco third to first. The battery of the veteran Benji Molina and the Iron Man, Barry Zito on the mound. We mentioned during the top of the broadcast, 8 consecutive years going into this year in which Zito has made at least 32 starts. Of course, he was the Cy Young Award winner back in '02 with Oakland. And if you count his Cy Young and the Cy Young of Lincecum last night and the 5 owned by Randy Johnson, they have 7 on their staff. Of course, Randy Johnson on the disabled list now.
Well, what a year he had back in 2002 when he won 23 ball games, lost only 5, and earned an average of under 2.8. Simply out of sight that year for the Oakland A's. And that's when Zito had a little bit more in his fastball. He threw the ball over 90 miles an hour then, but he still had that big, devastating, over-the-top 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock curveball. Little by little, his velocity has gone down. Signed a huge contract in 2007 with the Giants, and he's been really struggling as far as wins and losses ever since. After winning 16 games for the Giants for the Oakland A's, the last year he was with them in '06. He went 11-13, 10-17 last year, and now he's 8-11 this year.
And the Reds get their first base runner as Gomes draws a 4-pitch walk from Barry Zito.
You know, it looked like Barry Zito pitched around Johnny Gomes the same way that Bronson Arroyo pitched around Juan Uribe. Really didn't want a whole lot of anything to do with him. Maybe they just felt like the matchup didn't feel good to him.
Batter will be Vladimir Valentin. Zito, Chris, you mentioned the contract, signed a 7-year deal. He's in the 3rd year. That'll run through 2013 with a club option for 2014. He has, by all accounts, underperformed with San Francisco based on what he had done with Oakland.
And based on what I think their expectations were, too. I mean, after all, when you pay a pitcher $18.5 million and you figure, well, let's hope we pay $1 million per win. We'll be happy with that. I mean, you can't expect them to win more than 18 a year unless you have just a phenomenal and lucky year. But he hasn't come close to that. He's had 0 run support, though, in his defense this year. In fact, in his last 9 starts, he's lost 4 ball games. He's 4-4 over that time. And in his 4 losses, he's had 0 runs in those games. In fact, this is the worst run support board in the National League. Barry Zito atop that, as you see. And our own Aaron Harang is number 3 in the league right there with a 3.30.
Kenshin Kawakami is the Japanese pitcher that came over from the Japan professional leagues to Atlanta. He's wondering what's going on down there with that Atlanta team. Valentine started last night, 1 out of 4. Scored a run, stole a base. 14 games with the Reds, hitting .306. That Cy Young Award year in 02, Zito 23-5 with a 2.75 ERA. Phillips grounded out to third to start the inning. Gomes on 4 pitches, drew a walk. Valentine to left field. Wynn going back and right in front of the scoreboard makes the catch for the out.
I'll tell you, it's interesting to watch the Giants pitchers, the fielders, everybody in the dugout. When a ball goes up there like that and goes to the warning track here at Great American Ballpark, they are completely flabbergasted that a ball's going to carry that far. In San Francisco, the outfielder would be charging in to make that catch. This ball nearly leaves the yard. Zito's holding his breath right there, and fortunately for him, it stayed just catchable.
Wind always blowing in out there, or swirling, or what's the case?
It's cold out there. The wind it knocks down most of the fly balls that go to right and right center field, and you can hit them to left, but you still have to tag them way more than you would have to hit them here.
What's the difference between how the wind plays into it at AT&T versus at Old Candlestick?
Well, the wind was really much heavier in Candlestick. It was swirling a lot more. It was colder there. That was not exactly a hitter's paradise either. You know, I think it would be very tough for a guy like Barry Zito to put good numbers up here at Great American Ballpark because he's such a prolific fly ball pitcher, and he gives up a lot of balls like that. This is a relatively cool night after this rainstorm came through here. The ball not carrying like it would on a real hot day. On a Sunday afternoon when it's 90 degrees and 90% humidity, that ball's about 12 rows deep.
You need sinker ball pitchers here.
That's be a good way to start.
Adam Rosales looking to keep the Reds' second inning going. Hitless last night, on base once via a walk. Well, he always takes a big aggressive cut, doesn't he?
Well, you know, he's aggressive at everything he does. I mean, he's passionate about the game. He's passionate about life. This guy is. And I mean, he wakes up in the morning. He probably can't wait to get his clothes on and get to the ballpark. I mean, he just loves it so much. He's the first one here. He's hustling all the time. He's always dressed and ready to go. And if anything, to improve, he kind of needs to temper himself a little bit.
Product of Western Michigan University. Grew up, played baseball in the Chicago area as a youth. I don't know if you've seen him do this drill. I was reading about it the other day, about how he takes 2 baseballs into the outfield, hits them across the field, and chases them down.
Does it every day. About 3 o'clock in the afternoon, he takes his bat out and a couple of baseballs. Nobody else is on the field. He goes out to the right field line and he throws one up like he's hitting a fly ball. He hits a line drive out in the left field. He does it with the other baseball. Then he runs a dead sprint to go pick him up, and he hits him back over and over again. That's the way he gets his workout. Beats the heck out of running laps.
He has but 1 hit during this homestand, 1 out of 15 for Adam Rosales. That was a double in the 4th inning on Saturday against J.D. Martin of the Nationals. Second baseman going out. That's Velez. He calls everybody off, and Eugenio makes the catch, and the Reds' second comes to a close. They get a base runner, but leave him scoreless through 2. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. And by Jeep, you talk, we listen. It's a new day. Have fun out there. Jeep. Glad you're giving us part of your Wednesday night. From Cincinnati, Ohio, and Great American Ballpark, Jim Crouch, Chris Welsh. Giants and the Reds, game 2 of this 3-game series. 10 last night, 10 innings, an 8-5 San Francisco victory. So 4 times these two teams have met this year. Each has won a pair. Velez representing the top of the order, back up there for Bruce Bochy's team. He was ejected from the game last night. 3rd time in the last 8 games that Bruce Bochy has been ejected, and the 5th time this year. You think things aren't getting intense for his team?
You know, he looks like a pretty laid-back guy, but sometimes those big burly guys that are gentle giants, when they let it out, they let it out all at one time, although it did not look like he gave James Hoy much of a reason to toss him. He must have said a couple of unfriendly words, and maybe James Hoy didn't like his choice of vernacular last night.
Had to be it. Had to be it. Barker catches that line drive. He saw 15th consecutive year for Bruce Bochy as a major league manager. First 12 of those with San Diego. He took them to the World Series.
Another one of those former catchers who's made now a better living as a manager than he had as a backup catcher.
His Giants in 3rd right now in that West race. 5.5 back. Last time they won the division, when they won 100 games in 03 under Felipe Alou, his first year following Dusty Baker, who had taken them to the World Series the year prior to that in 02. That team, that 02 Giants team, was a wild card team. Lost to Anaheim in 4 games. That one's going to fall out and right, and a base hit for Edgar Renteria. So the Giants pick up their 4th hit. By the way, that double play ball hit into by Zito kept the streak alive now for Bronson Arroyo, sitting at 12 straight scoreless innings over 3 different games. So Renteria keeps his hitting streak going. He's at 7 games. Ways to go to get a Giants high. They had a 17-gamer back in June off the bat of Aaron Rowan, and then a 16-gamer by Eugenio Velez that ended earlier this month on the 11th of August. Hammered but fouled on the right field side.
Now this will be interesting in this at bat to see how Arroyo goes after Nate Schierholtz, because Schierholtz easily hit the hardest ball of the ball game so far, the ball that was laced over the head of Drew Stubbs in left center field and one hop the wall way deep out there. He had a pretty good swing at that last pitch. What Arroyo will do, will throw a lot of breaking balls inside intended to be foul balls or double plays.
There's one. There's the other. Double play goes 4-6-3. Second one started by Brandon Phillips. 2.5 complete here at Great American Ballpark. No score. Let's go thus far for them. No runs on the board on either side as we'll play into the bottom of the third. And time for our Geico quote of the day. It comes from Dusty Baker on leaving Homer Bailey in the game last night in the 6th inning. Dusty said, "You don't want to rescue them all the time, or they'll never learn. It's a tough way to learn your lesson." That's on Dusty last night about Homer in the 6th inning.
Yeah, I happen to agree with Dusty on Homer Bailey right there. I mean, there are only so many times in your career that you're going to get a guy like Tim Lincecum down 5 runs or 4 runs anyway with a 5-1 lead, and you have to begin to smell, you know, blood in the water. You've got to go for the kill right there, and this is what big league baseball is all about. You just don't go out there and give up a lead like that by making bad pitches. The next step for Homer Bailey to be a big-time pitcher is to complete those games.
Hannigan puts a charge into this ball into left center, but it's going to be caught by Aaron Rowan for out number 1.
Ball not carrying tonight, not typical of Great American Ballpark. I thought the ball that Valentin hit had a chance to escape out of here, and that ball I thought by Hannigan was hit at least to the warning track. That ball died well short of the track.
He didn't look too happy right there, does he? Here's Bronson Arroyo, who has 5 hits during this 2009 season and a 119 batting average. You know, going back to that 6th inning again for a moment. A leadoff strikeout of Lincecum, and then back-to-back base hits by Velez and Renteria, and then Homer was able to get Sandoval on strike. So it was first and second with 2 out. Then he walked Molina, and then the 2 big hits, one by Randy Wynn, the other by Ryan Garco, turned that 5-1 lead into a 5-5 game.
Well, the hit by Garco is the one that sent Homer to the showers, and that's the one where he threw a fastball right up into Garco's hot zone. I can guarantee you in the scouting meeting that they went over the Giants hitters, the thing that they would have to say about Ryan Garco, that he is a dead red high fastball hitter. And, you know, if you're going to make a mistake, make the mistake down in the dirt. Make it down and away somewhere. Don't throw it into his hot zone. In fact, I think that Homer was lucky that guy didn't put one into the bullpen. Certainly strong enough.
Another chance for the outfield. This will be Randy Wynn. And the left fielder hauls it in. 4 in a row now retired by Barry Zito, and he's allowed just one base runner thus far tonight. And the nation's biggest high school football showcase is back with 3 days of gridiron action in the 2009 Skyline Chili Crosstown Showdown, presented by Meyer and Dr. Pepper, August 27th, 28th, and 29th. For more information, go to absprepsports.com. And remember, the showdown kicks off the high school football season on Fox Sports Ohio, August 27th at 5 p.m. from Dayton's Welcome Stadium. That is less than 10 days away. 8 to be exact. Stubbs at the first pitch he saw in the left field in the first inning in his first major league at bat. Sees a major league curveball there from Zito. They had to appeal. Stubbs is said to have gone around. Strikeout number 2 for Barry Zito, and a quick and easy third for the veteran left-hander. Through 3, no score. Bart, does his name rhyme with duck? Any ideas you're thinking?
Yeah, I'm thinking it might be Randy Wynn.
What makes you think that?
Well, he's in the ballpark tonight. Usually we have a question that is relative to one of the teams. I seem to remember him having a really good day here, and I can't tell you when it was, but
long-time American League player. Although he's been over here now a few years.
I can't tell you right off the bat that I'm not the biggest fan of the cycle. I think it's more of a statistical anomaly than anything else, but it's a good night, no doubt.
Yeah.
I mean, you're on base 4 times. You're guaranteed to score at least once.
Crowd reacts when Benji Molina gets the call on the appeal to first, when crew chief Angel Hernandez says no, he did not go around. Chance of the backhand. Rosales sets and guns it across. Out number 1, inning number 4. So Molina nothing out of 2. This rain delay, Chris, wasn't that long, 40 minutes, but generally speaking in rain delays, does it affect pitchers or hitters in your estimation more?
You know, I'm not even sure that a short rain delay like that affects anybody at all. If a longer rain delay occurs, it would more likely affect the pitcher, especially if a guy's already gone down and begun to warm up. And when the tarp came on the field, it was right before the 7 o'clock hour, so the pitchers had already gone down to warm up a little bit. So that's where it takes effect. It certainly cooled things off for the fans, made it a nice, better environment here at the ballpark. It was a little sticky before that rain came through.
It was that game back in May when Aaron Harang came back after a long rain delay to get the out, which he did get. Eventually, he qualified for the win. That was surprising. Wind got under that ball, and a chance out in left field for Ballantine. And that's the second out. Here's what we experienced earlier, right around, as Chris said, the top of the hour, 7 o'clock. It rained very, very hard. Blowing into the booth. But it went through almost as fast as it showed up, didn't it?
Yeah, well, it just came through fast enough to get all of our paperwork wet. We scrambled to get the monitors out of the rain, the computers, and all the other electronic equipment out. Got my shirt so wet and wrinkled, I probably won't be able to wear it for a 3rd day in a row now.
No, I think you'll be all right. Saw you break down Daniel Ray Herrera with Tech Talk. That was good stuff.
You know, Daniel Ray, very well-spoken young man, and he knows his way around a pitching mound. I'll tell you what, he beat a lot of odds by making it to the major leagues, and he's having a tremendous year. One of my favorite Reds.
Isn't it always interesting to see how pitchers hold a pitch? They can throw the same pitch as another guy, but their grip is a little different.
Now, you know, you experiment with those down the bullpen, whether it's in the minor leagues, high school, college, anywhere, and you're always finding out how other guys grip pitches, because it's a process of experimentation all the time. But how he holds that screwball, I've never seen anything anywhere close to that. Of course, I've never seen a screwball quite as effective as that either.
And interesting to hear him say he can throw it because his arm and wrist is able to bend a certain way. And as he said, Mike Lincoln said, my arm won't do that.
Yeah, you know, I really wish that he would have been able to meet Harvey Haddix. Great left-handed pitcher. Was once obviously with the Reds, and he was a little lefty, quite a bit like Daniel Ray Herrera, and I think they would have had a lot to talk about, and Haddix would have been able to teach him quite a bit. There's the grip that we're talking about. Daniel Ray Herrera, he takes his index finger off the ball, and he puts all the pressure on this finger right here to turn that ball over. The key to it for him, though, is throwing that ball at 67 miles an hour. That gives it enough time to break, and really gives a lot of deception to the hitter.
Batter sees a 67-mile-per-hour pitch coming up there. Got to believe he's jumping out all over.
That's what most of them do. In fact, that's what Arroyo is trying to do right here to Aaron Rowan. Throwing that pitch up there at 76 miles an hour, trying to get Rowan, you know, to wait on it. He still can't wait on it, pulls it foul, and now one of these pitches on an 0-2 count. Arroyo's likely to speed it up, throw a fastball, maybe off the plate, and see if he can zip by him, like right there.
Strikeout number 3 for Bronson Arroyo. He gives up the hit to Garco, and the Giants strand their 4th. We play to the bottom half. Still score. This game, a walk, couple of strikeouts. No hits by Cincinnati thus far against this 31-year-old left-hander who, born in Las Vegas, lives now in Los Angeles, and attended college for 3 years at 3 different schools. UC Santa Barbara, and he transferred to Pierce Junior College for his sophomore year, and then, like George Grand, to Southern Cal. And Brad Boxberger, whom we talked with last night, the supplemental first-round pick by the Reds. So I guess today those guys would be down in Sarasota making their way about their first day as pros.
I'm sure Tom Browning already had them running polls today. We hope so.
Good contact there by Giannis, but a foul ball. Just starting for them. Do you remember when you were in that position? Not in terms of finances, but your first day really as a pro?
Oh, certainly. In terms of finances, I got a $500 bonus from the Yankees to sign, and $500 a month.
So not a comma in there. There's no comma in there.
Yeah, there was not much common interest between the boys in the first round and what it was back then.
Rowan makes the catch. Giannis is out. He's 2 out of 16 now during this homestand. Let's take a look at our Aflac trivia question and its answer and see if Chris Welsh is correct. The only player to hit for the cycle here at Great American Ballpark. The answer is Aflac. How about that?
You know, that was a lucky guess. I do remember he had a good game, but you know, that's the first trivia question I have had right in, I think, in 2.5 years, Jim. So you might be luck.
I feel honored.
Hang around a little bit. Come back tomorrow.
If you insist, I will. August 15th, 05, Randy Wynn hit for the cycle. We talked about Wynn being a longtime American League player, and he played with Tampa Bay and Seattle from 98 through 05, but it was with these Giants. Second half of 05 when he did it. Line drive by Barker, but it's caught at first base by Garco.
Right now, Barry Zito just working through this lineup that the Reds have very, very easily. He has allowed only 1 base runner so far, and that was the walk that he gave up to Johnny Gomes with 1 out in the second inning.
One more thought. Oh, sorry, Chris.
He's been a contact pitcher. He's only struck out 2 batters, and we mentioned before the ball game that, you know, he's not a high strikeout pitcher, unlike Tim Lincecum, last night's starter, or tomorrow's starter, Matt Cain. He gets it done by pitching to contact. I had to figure that, you know, with the way that he pitched his last time here, as I remember it anyway, the Reds beat him around mercilessly a few years ago when he came through Cincinnati. And he absolutely had nothing, and the Reds just waylaid him. And I had to figure that he had a little bit of trepidation about coming out here and pitching tonight. But the long fly balls that he has given up have stayed in the yard, and so far so good for number 75.
Just shy of a year ago, August 29th, 2008, the game Chris refers to, an 11-7 Reds win. Zito gave up 8 runs, 7 hits in 3 1/3 in that game. 3-2 lifetime against the Reds. To first and handled down there by Garco. And a 1-2-3 inning, the 3rd by Zito in this game. 4 complete, scoreless. win during an upcoming game at your Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Toyota dealers. Good luck, Tim. Juan Uribe leads off here in the top of the 5th. Scoreless thus far. 14 consecutive scoreless innings now for Bronson Arroyo. Made note earlier of the fact that he had a 16-inning scoreless streak earlier this year in consecutive starts at New York. And then at home against Milwaukee, 16 straight scoreless innings. The streak was snapped in the first inning of that 6-2 loss in L.A. on the 22nd of July. And his career best streak, 17, sitting at 14 right now. One more thought. We were talking earlier about the Grand Slams, pardon me, about the cycles, and Randy Wynn, the only player to do it in this ballpark. The last Reds player to hit for the cycle was Eric Davis. He did it back in 1989. Valentine came charging in right in front of Stubbs, caught that. A little bit of a snow cone at the end, but he got it. And Uribe is out. Great American Ballpark is the perfect place to kick off your weekends. Friday, August 28th. Enjoy a spectacular post-game fireworks display after the Reds-Rockies game, presented by Assurant Health. For tickets, call 513-381-REDS or go to reds.com. Zito, the man at the plate.
Valentine calling it all the way. That's why Drew Stubbs kind of stayed out of the way, at least tried to anyway. He was camped right underneath the spot. Valentine fortunately got to that spot before it hit the turf.
Phillips will get it and throw Zito out at first. 2 quick outs here in the top of inning number 5.
Hey, Reds fans, for great tasting food and family fun, pick up JTM Philly kits, burgers, or delicious barbecue from your favorite grocer. JTM, food, family, fun. You take a look around that field, Jim, and you know Dusty Baker's got to feel the same way, because right here is the only projected starter coming out of spring training that the Reds have on the field. Everybody else is a fill-in or a reserve or somebody called up from the minor leagues that really didn't figure in the plans at the or somebody traded for, like Vladimir Valentine. That the Reds didn't even figure they'd be in the plans. So there's Dusty Baker going to battle with one of his regulars out there tonight and holding it at a 0-0 ball game.
First 1, 2, 3 inning of this game turned in by Arroyo. Middle of the 5th, still scored. AT&T Rapid Rewind. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. Bottom of the 5th, Johnny Gomes leads things off. Love to see Gomes do here what he did 4 times in the National Series, and that is go deep. He became the 24th player and accomplished the feat for the 29th time. That was hit 3 home runs in a game. Last accomplished by Joey Votto. Did it in support of Bronson Arroyo in that game on Thursday, game in which the Reds won 7-0. Gomes is the only base runner the Reds have had tonight. That was with a walk in the 2nd with 1 out. Talked about third baseman of the Reds, Rosales, taking a good cut. This guy doesn't get cheated, does he?
No, and he's not up there to get cheated either. I mean, you really can't call him a polished batter, but really a swinger. Those are really the words of Dusty Baker. He feels that that's the strength of his ball game. He goes up there and he just lets it rip.
Zito comes in on him with a fastball there, gets his 3rd strikeout.
Boy, Zito has been brilliant tonight at really painting the corners and changing speeds. This last pitch, a little bit of a cutter at 89 miles an hour, right on the black. Johnny Gomes may have thought that ball was inside, but Marvin Hudson, the home plate umpire, has got the last word. He's got that number 7 detail brush out tonight.
9 in a row now set down by Zito. 13 of the 14 that he has faced. Valentine takes a crack at it, hard toward left, but Wynn on the move to his left makes the catch.
2 good at bats for Valentine.
Quickly 2 out. Rosales the batter. Tonight's Mega Million jackpot, $207 million. Buy a ticket today. There are 3 commas in that one. I guess 2 commas in a period. Rosales with 2 men out. Zito looking for his 3rd consecutive and his 4th overall 1-2-3 inning. Rosales popped up to the second baseman Velez his first time. 1 out of 16 during this homestand, hovering just above the 200 mark. What Zito's been able to do to the Reds tonight. 2 hard hit balls is really all they've been able to muster. The line drive to left there by Valentine, and Barker's line drive to Garco as the 2nd out in the 4th inning, the best contact they've made. Let's see what Rosales gets here at 3-1. Check swing, base hit into right. First base hit of the night for Dusty Baker's club. A check swing single by Adam Rosales.
Hey, you never really know how it's going to go out there. Up until that time, Barry Zito had only given up 1 base runner, no hits on the night, and despite the 2 line drives that you just talked about, Jim, that check swing off the bat of Adam Rosales results in the Reds' first hit.
Placement is everything, isn't it? Well, for only the second time tonight, Zito will work from the stretch. He did it after walking Gomes, and he does it now after giving up the check swing single to Adam Rosales. Hannigan flied to center his first time is up there.
Rosales does not have a stolen base. He's tried twice, has been thrown out both times. This might be one of those situations where if you push the running game a little bit. Zito's got kind of a deliberate move to first base, but still in all, he has given up 5 stolen bases, and the Giants catchers have thrown out 7. So he's been real good about shutting down the opponent running game.
Rosales got his hit against Zito on a 3-1 pitch. Hannigan ahead, ball 1. And now ball 2. You mentioned earlier, Chris, Zito being a rock star. This is a musician's game tonight with Zito and Arroyo both being accomplished guitarists.
There's no doubt about it. In fact, Barry Zito's father was a very accomplished musician, a composer for Nat King Cole. Worked with musicians like Frank Sinatra and Sammy Davis Jr. Eventually quit his musical career so that he could concentrate on his son's baseball career. When they were in San Diego, Barry Zito took lessons from pitching lessons, that is, not guitar lessons, from Randy Jones, a former Cy Young Award winner with the Padres back in 1976. That left-hander tutored this left-hander.
Toward right field, but playable. Shearholtz is there, and the inning is over. But the Reds get their first hit, strand their first runner. Through 5, no score.
Scoreless game right now on Fox Sports Ohio. Jim Day back with you. I am in the official scores booth right now. I'm being quiet right now because Joe Zarahusen was just announcing the next batter, Edgar Renteria. Now, as these guys officially score the game, one of the lost art forms in baseball is actually scoring the game at the ballpark. Well, tomorrow, we're on the air, folks. Tomorrow, it's a game we've added. We'll hit the air at 12 noon, 12:35 start here at Great American Ballpark, and we're going to show you throughout the game how to score a baseball game, which we do each and every game. And a lot of people have asked the question, how do you score? I'd love to score just like the old days. These guys do it officially, by the way. Joe Zarahusen here, the PA announcer for the Cincinnati Reds. Say hello, Joe.
Jim, how are you?
He's the voice. Oh, man. Mike Jones, Mike Cameron also here. This is where the official scores come from, whether it's a hit, whether it's an error, etc. And tomorrow, you can follow along. We're going to show you how to score a game. Should be fun. Guys, let's go back to you.
Thank you, Jim. It is indeed Edgar Renteria. Jim learning himself right there how to score the game. Chris, I imagine that you learned how to score as a youngster, as I did.
You know, I believe I learned how to score a baseball game in a scorebook from my sister. My older sister Barbara was always would score baseball games, and I would come to watch the game, try to catch foul balls and eat concessions. And eventually she taught me how to score, and then I really honed it to a fine practice when I got in college and volunteered to keep the scorebook on days I didn't pitch. And of course, when you're a minor league pitcher, you're always charting and keeping scores, and I took it to the next level there.
Important to note, though, that when you chart a game as a pitcher, it's a little bit different than when you score a game in your scorebook in terms of how they do it.
Well, you put down every pitch a pitcher throws, whether it's a ball or a strike, and the type of pitch. 1 for fastball, 2 for curve, 3 for slider, 4 for changeup. If he has a trick pitch, it's a number 5. If he has even 6 pitches, obviously use 6. But you know, and there were some scoring systems where they even want the location. But most of the time, they just want the pitches in order so that you can go back and review that pitching chart and say, all right, you know, you threw too many breaking balls there in the 5th inning, and that's why the other team got on you a little bit.
The key to it, though, the key to scoring a game is you or me being able to decipher what we write down, because as many people as know how to score are as many systems as there are.
Well, you sit next to Marty Brennaman a fair amount this summer, Jim, and I can't read his scorebook.
Giannis, nicely done on that slow ground ball by Renteria for the first out.
Now, Jeff Brantley, on the other hand, has about 98 colors working, doesn't he? He's got every highlighter color known to man over there, and he's got it all laid out. It looks like actually looks like a paint chip test.
Yeah, he does have a lot of the highlighters. Nate Shearholtz would be the batter. There's the Hall of Famer.
I think he may have, you know, that Marty started out with a white shirt tonight until Jeff Brantley got at it with his highlighters.
Now we'll show you a little bit tomorrow about how you do it, how I do it, how the official scores do it, and the differences between how they decide earned run or unearned run, at bats versus plate appearances, what the defensive positions are in terms of a number. It'll be educational tomorrow.
I don't know about you, but one of the things I like to do as a color analyst anyway is that I always write down the count and the pitch that was put into play, whether it was a strikeout. Say it's a 1-1 pitch here now to Barry Zito. If he pops up right here, Shearholtz, I would say 1-1, and if it's a curveball, 1-1-2. So I'd know that he made it out on a curveball his last time up.
No, I don't do that. Now, see, if I looked at your score sheet, I probably wouldn't get it.
Well, mine's a big score sheet.
Yeah.
It's a ledger size, and I need all that because I write all sorts of notes. You know, you can see the notes ahead of time up here. I'm trying to write down because, you know, at my age, the memory's not quite what it used to be. So I got to make sure I write it down. So your name is Jim Kelch, I think.
Almost the same as yours. Shearholtz out on strikes. Strike on number 4 for Arroyo. He and Zito matching each other pitch for pitch and out for out in this game thus far.
So that goes down as a K. Strikeout number K, as you say. And in my book, I go 1-2-1 on that because it was a 1-2 pitch and a fastball. We put away Shearholtz, who hit the ball hard his first time up. A double play his last time up. The Brandon Phillips turned nicely at second base. And boy, just like Barry Zito, Bronson Arroyo was rolling right along.
Into the hole. There's that slide by Giannis, up and throwing low, but there's Barker digging it out. Nicely done, and that's 2 consecutive 1-2-3 innings and 7 in a row by Bronson Arroyo as this game moves into the home 6th. Score. It's time for the Coors Light Freeze Can. Coors Light Freeze Can brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. A little snow cone action there by Vladimir Valentin out in left. Pitch for pitch, out for out go Barry Zito and Bronson Arroyo in this game. And Arroyo has now had 16 consecutive scoreless innings. May I help you, sir?
Anytime Gapper's here, let's hope for a couple of runs here, Gapper. There are no runs underneath the counter.
He's looking for crumbs, I believe. Do you have a voice for television and radio? Ooh.
Oh, you know what? I've never heard him make that noise before meeting you there, Jim.
I've never heard him make that noise. So it sounds like a cat purring back here. He must be happy. Arroyo first up against Zito in the home 6th inning. What's that smell?
It's your favorite mascot smell. Let me tell you what, it smells better on the outside than the inside.
Bronson Arroyo against Barry Zito here. Bronson Arroyo has had 16 now consecutive scoreless innings for the 2nd time this year. He did it back in 06 when he had 2 consecutive 16 innings scoreless stretches. He's done it twice this year. At the plate, he's 0 for 2 as he strikes out. 4th strikeout for Zito. Arroyo now 1 inning away from equaling his career high at 17 consecutive scoreless frames. He did that back in July 2004 as a member of the Red Sox. Here's Stubbs, still looking for his first hit in his first game. He's 0 for 2. He's flied to left, struck out. And that was on a check swing. Muscles one down the right field side. Fair ball. Stubbs will show some speed here as he heads to second base. He is in there standing up. First major league hit for the 24-year-old out of Texarkana, Texas, Drew Stubbs. Congratulations.
Well, I'll ask him for years and years. Tell me about your first base hit. He says, hey, it's a double off of Barry Zito. We were here to see a little flare job down the right field line, and boy, that young man can motor. Nice long strides. He's got long legs, and he really eats up a lot of real estate with each stride. First major league hit. Congratulations, Drew Stubbs.
With Stubbs and Dickerson, this team has 2 players that can really get around the bases.
Throw Tavares into that mix when he's healthy. He's been rated this year as the fastest base runner in, I think, at least in the National League, maybe in all of Major League Baseball.
Fastest base runner in the National League was Michael Bourne, and Tavares is 2.
Okay.
Tavares is 2. Pretty good bunt. Charged and barehanded by Uribe. Close, but out at first. Giannis disagreed. Runner does go to third. They're able to get Uribe, the third baseman, to charge and field that ball.
Well, nearly a great surprise attack right there by Paul Giannis, but the bunt is hit very hard. Uribe comes up, makes a nice play on that ball. At the very end, Giannis makes that long stride to try to get there just a little bit before the throw and unable to do so. Well, if that ball is hit a little bit more towards the third baseline, he's got a base hit. The Reds have him on the corners.
Credit Giannis with a sacrifice bunt that moves Stubbs over to third, and here's Barker. Trying to get his first hit, first RBI as a Cincinnati Red. By the way, the report from the clubhouse says that Joey Votto left the game with blurred vision. Barker hit the ball hard as last time, lined it right at Garco at first base. To his left, Velez will make the play and throw Barker out, so the Reds leave Stubbs at third. Through 6, we are still 0-0. Called out on strikes. Arroyo gets a strikeout of Renteria and a couple of double plays. That one 4 unassisted by Phillips. This one 4-6-3 started by Phillips, and the first major league hit for the 24-year-old Drew Stubbs. Tonight's Chrysler game summary as we progress to inning number 7. Randy Wynn leads things off. Phillips, time to recover off the bobble. 1 pitch, 1 out. Top of inning number 7. 8 straight now, and 11 of the last 12 set down by Bronson Arroyo. Well, he's following up that very good outing he had against the Nationals with another very good one here. We talked about he'd had, coming into tonight's game, 4 consecutive quality starts during that stretch. 1 win, 2 losses, and a no decision.
You know, you need starters like Bronson Arroyo in your rotation, come in there to eat up innings. And I've never been a believer in just throwing a guy out there just because he can eat up innings. I want quality innings out of him. He has given the Reds that over his last 5 starts.
He's trying to match here a career high of 17 consecutive scoreless innings. He did that with Boston in July of 2004. He's had 2 16-inning scoreless streaks this year. He had that same thing back in 2006, his first year with Cincinnati. The last Red starter to accomplish that feat prior to 06 with Arroyo was Tim Belcher back in 1993. Giannis makes the play. What better way to spend your afternoon than at the Reds game? The next Paycor Business Day special happens tomorrow as the Reds conclude this series with the Giants. While you're at the game, enter for a chance to win tickets to the next Paycor Business Day game by stopping by the fan accommodation station. For your tickets, call 381-REDS or go to reds.com. 12:35 encounter here tomorrow. Reds are hoping it's the rubber game of the series. Giants last night in 10, 8-5, scoreless in this game. One of the 5 hits tonight by the Giants, owned by this fellow, Aaron Rowan. He had a single back in the second. The best scoring chance the Giants have had with 2 on and 1 out. Just hangs in there on that foul ball. Hannigan shaking his hand a bit. .76 pitches and 56 strikes for Arroyo tonight. Bronson Arroyo looking for his 50th career Reds victory here tonight if he can get it. .49 and .48 his career record with the Reds. Looking for number in his major league career 83. Into left and a base hit. For Rowan is 2 out of 3. Base runner on with 2 men out. Arroyo 14 wins his first year here in 2006. Only 9 in 07. 15 last year. And 11 thus far this year. Brings you to 49. Uribe been on once tonight with a walk back in the second. The only free pass issued by Arroyo in this game. He started San Francisco being game 1, his game at Washington 2, and now this one. He's only walked 2 in 22 innings. Pitcher's spot is on deck, and it is indeed Barry Zito in the on deck circle.
That'll be interesting to see if Bruce Bochy will stick with him if in case Uribe gets on base. Barry Zito so far this year has only gone 7 innings max in a ball game, and he's just about reached his peak. He may have a chance to make that decision right here.
Into right field and hit the soft ground and drop in to get that ball is Gomes. Fires it in, but it's a double for Uribe. Rowan over to third base. Boy, that soft turf out there didn't allow for any roll on that ball, and Gomes had to stop, then change direction and come on in for that ball.
Well, this ball was hit like a wedge, and it probably had some backspin on it right there, and hit and stop right there. And Gomes has got to get to it in a hurry just to make sure that Aaron Rowan doesn't decide to get happy coming around third base and try to score.
Second and third with 2 men out.
So a couple of flare hits in this inning. One off the end of the bat by Rowan, one off the end of the bat, and a little flare job down the right field line by Juan Uribe. Will send Barry Zito to the showers.
Fred Lewis
looks like he's going to make a pinch hitting move.
19th double of the year by Uribe. Given San Francisco runners at second and third with 2 out. There's the numbers on Zito. No run, 2-hit baseball with a walk and 4 strikeouts. He can win. He cannot lose tonight's game. He's gunning for his 9th win of the year.
Boy, one thing that's been very consistent for Zito is the fact that he's not had any runs scored for him. In fact, we showed you that stat early in the ball game where he is the least run supported pitcher in all the National League this year. Same things happened tonight. They couldn't get him even a 1 crooked number.
So here's Fred Lewis, hitting .272 on the year with 4 home runs and 16 batted in. Still another very good pinch hitter. 7 out of 19 with 3 RBIs in this pinch hitting role. Pinch hit in the 7th inning last night, had a double that went for naught. Uribe at second. Lewis gets under this ball, should be the final out of the inning, and indeed it is, as Phillips makes the catch, and the inning comes to an end. Time now for the 7th inning stretch presented. Brought to you by your local Ford dealer and the Ford F-150 2009 Motor Trend Truck of the Year. By Aflac, we've got you under our wing. And by your Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky Honda dealers. Visit mycincinnatihondadealer.com for current offers. Glad you're with us on this Wednesday night. Jim Kelch, Chris Welsh, Great American Ballpark, Cincinnati, Ohio. Battle between the Cincinnati Reds out of the National League Central. San Francisco Giants, National League West Division. Giants a winner in game 1 here last night at 10-8-5. Scoreless duel through 6 tonight. New pitcher on is Sergio Romo.
Romo came in the ballgame last night, pitched 2/3 of an inning, a sidewinding right-hander. Gets the ball up there anywhere from 92 to 93, but really likes to get the right-handers out on his breaking ball. This is a very, very good pitching staff, both from starting standpoint and relievers for the Giants. In fact, they lead the National League in earned run average overall, and each of those individually. The starters are the best in the league, and the relievers are the best in the league when measured by the earned run average.
Phillips hit against Romo last night, struck out. In fact, Romo threw 2/3 of an inning, struck out Phillips. Was able to get Valentin looking. His extent of work last night against Phillips, who's 0 for 2 tonight. Putting together another good year. 17 home runs, 19 stolen bases. Sitting right at 75 runs batted in. One of only 4 players in the big leagues this year to have 15 homers, 75 RBIs, 15 steals. Hanley Ramirez, who leads the league in hitting out of Florida. Mark Reynolds from Arizona, the home run guru. Matt Kemp of the Dodgers. And this fellow, Brandon Phillips. Reds trying to get the leadoff man on for the first time tonight. Romo appearing for the 28th time, 3-2, a 5.23 ERA. Chased a breaking ball, and he is strikeout victim number 5 for Giants pitching tonight.
Well, another breaking ball right there. He did a sidewinding breaking ball. I guess this is about as close as you will face Bronson Arroyo if you play for the Reds and don't get to face Arroyo except in an inter-squad game. Sergio Romo comes from the sidewinding angle. He throws a first pitch fastball to Phillips, and then ever since that time he started throwing that breaking ball and eventually stuck with it and got him to chase something out of the zone.
Here's Gomes, is 0 for 1 with a walk. I believe when I saw Romo tip his cap back. We'll get to that here in a moment as that pitch misses low. I believe that Romo had a little mohawk action going.
Well, you can see the tail of it out the very back right there. I didn't know he had the compliment all the way to the forehead.
Try to catch him with his hat off again here in a moment.
Used to sport one of those mohawks back in the day, did you not, Jim Kelch?
If I did, I was unaware of it. Like it may have been late at night when someone said, wouldn't it be nice to give him a mohawk?
Back in the old fraternity days.
Reds have been out hitting this game 7-2. Really had just the one scoring chance. That was in the 6th when Stubbs ended up at third base. Barker had the opportunity and he grounded out to the second baseman Velez. Giants have had a couple of scoring chances. A 2-out double in the first by Shearholtz. 2 on, 1 out in the second, which ended in a double play ball hit into by Zito. And in the 7th, 1st and 3rd with 2 out, Fred Lewis popped up.
Yep, taking a look into the Reds dugout, you recognize that guy. Micah Owings, who was on the disabled list, still on the disabled list, has made some starts down in AAA on rehab, and from all indications, Jim, it appears that he will probably make that start the first game in Pittsburgh in place of Johnny Cueto when the Reds travel to play the Pirates on Friday.
High and foul, third base side by Johnny Gomes. Well, the 2 starts that he's made down there, he went 79 pitches and then 93 pitches. Dusty did make the comment after that last one, 93, that he wished he could get further than 5 2/3 out of 93 pitches.
I'm not so sure it's about building up arm strength. It's about, I agree with Dusty, it's about being able to throw the ball over the plate and throwing zeros on the board.
Gomes didn't get it, and so like Phillips, he strikes out. First 2 go down on strikes.
Another breaking ball does Johnny Gomes in the same way it did Brandon Phillips. This one a little bit of a hanger, and Johnny Gomes way out in front of that, and that's very close to what you face when you face Bronson Arroyo.
So Romo has faced 4 batters in this series and struck them all out. Valentina, strikeout victim of Romo's last night. Well, he looked very sharp last night and tonight, hasn't he?
He's painting the edges just like Barry Zito did before him.
Rosales waits on deck as he cheats up out of the batter's box and off the warning track area, step or so onto the grass, trying to get a bit better look at this right-hander Sergio Romo. There's Rosales. Deck circle, kind of like the coaches boxes. They're there, but they aren't really meant to keep anyone restricted within them. Mark Berry out of the box. Billy Hatcher out of the box as well. Mentioned Romo's 28th appearance of the year. He missed the first 2 months of this season with an elbow sprain. So a late start for him in June. But he gets Ballantine for the second night in a row on strikes, and he strikes out the side. Through 7, still zeros on the board. .com/Hall of Fame and vote today. Big clue. Bronson Arroyo, 7 shutout innings tonight. He allowed 7 hits in that 7th inning, and when he allowed no runs there, matches now a career best for him with 17 consecutive scoreless innings. Edge of the grass is Rosales, and he throws Velez out. Time for What Do You Know? Brought to you by Radio Shack. Drew Stubbs leads the International League with 46 stolen bases in 54 attempts. That's also a career high for the 24-year-old Texan. What do you know? 46 stolen bases for Drew Stubbs. Courtesy of Radio Shack. His previous career high was 33. He shattered that. Base hit into right. Renteria's second hit of the night. He's 2 out of 4.
And both of them little slop jobs to right field. That was a classic Edgar Renteria base hit right there.
This Giants team competing in the West and in the wild card have that big series we talked about with Colorado beginning on Friday. They still have 10 games left against the Rockies this year, 6 of them in San Francisco. They go to Colorado for 4. Next weekend have the Rockies home for 3. And 14, 15, 16 of September have the Rockies at AT&T Park. Rockies lead the wild card by 1 over the Giants, 2 over Florida. No scores tonight. Colorado at Washington leading 4-3 in the bottom of the 7th. Florida is in Houston trailing 4-2 in the 5th. Bochy trying to do in San Francisco what he was so successful in doing in San Diego. 12 years in San Diego for Bochy. 4 playoff teams, including that 1998 World Series team we talked about. Another catcher turned manager. One out here in the top of the 8th of a scoreless battle between the Giants and the Reds here at Great American Ballpark. Shearholtz is 1 out of 3. Bronson Arroyo, in case you're wondering, due up 3rd in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Well, there's been no activity in the Reds bullpen all night long.
They didn't have to get up on Thursday when he threw that 2-hitter against the Nationals, and they have not been up yet tonight. Toward left center field, Valentin dove for the ball and did not get it, and it will roll to the wall. Renteria coming home. He's going to score. The Giants break through first here in the top of the 8th with a run-producing double by Shearholtz on a ball that appeared as if Valentin was going to get.
Well, not only get him, but at least be able to knock down. Imperative in a 0-0 ball game. You do not let this ball get in the gap and get by you. Looks like he just overran that ball a little bit. Tough break for the Reds. Tough break for Bronson Arroyo. Boy, that's a catchable ball right there, you would think anyway.
14th double credited to Shearholtz, who has 2 of them tonight. And he gets the RBI number 23. And the Giants have taken a 1-0 lead. And so Bronson Arroyo's scoreless streak ends at 17 innings. Still the best he's had this year. That equals his career high. Yeah, that dive by Valentin appeared as if he went right over the ball, didn't it?
Yeah, most left fielders in the major leagues are in there for their offense and not their defense. So I'm not sure how many left fielders are going to make this catch anyway. But it appeared that he was there, and got to be disappointed to see that ball go to the wall.
Valentin with a chance here on this fly ball. And he handles it, the 2nd out of the inning. So a 2-out Randy Wynn will be at the plate. Shearholtz has been a terrific player, both as a starter and off the bench for the Giants this year. A pair of doubles tonight. Terrific pinch hitter, and now it's Randy Wynn. The big hit in the 6th inning last night. Scored 1 of the 3 runs in the 10th last evening. He's up there in an RBI chance in the 8th. Funny how things have been going offensively for this Giants team. Before Monday's 10-run output, they had only scored 16 runs in their last 7 games. Then they get the 10-1 win on Monday and the 8-5 win here last night. So 18 runs in their last 2, and now they're playing in a 1-0 game tonight. Shutout victories, nothing new for San Francisco if they get it. They lead the major leagues with 15 shutout wins this year. Reds will hope to do something about that in the bottom of the 8th and or the bottom of the 9th. Win 0 for 3 with a strikeout tonight. 1 walk, 4 Ks for Bronson. First run of tonight's game produced on a 1-out single to right by Renteria and a double to left center by Shearholtz. Rosales, Hannigan in the pitcher spot, due up in the bottom of the 8th for Dusty's team. best scoring chances prior to this inning for San Francisco, which they failed in the first, the second, the seventh. Breakthrough here in the eighth. Arroyo gets his fifth strikeout, putting an end to the top of the eighth, but the Giants break through with a game's first run. Bottom three due up in the Reds order. Rosales, Hannigan, pitcher spot. We believe we see Francisco Cordero up and throwing in the Reds bullpen. Rosales a hit in the fifth along with Nick Massett. Double barrel action out in the Reds pen beyond the left center field wall. There's a look at the pen. Rosales, the first hit of this game tonight for the Reds, back in inning number 5. A check swing single into right. Ian Stubbs doubled down the right field line of the 2 Cincinnati hits. They've been out hit 9-2 and trail 1-0. Reds trying to get on the board here. They've been shut out 4 times this season. Trying to avoid number 5. Trying to send this series into a rubber game. Right near the plate. Molina, the veteran, handles it. Out number 1. Time to take a look at our John Morrell hot dog play of the game. Turned in defensively by Red shortstop Paul Janisch. There's that slide and throw. And a good pick by Parker on the receiving end. John Morrell hot dog play of tonight's game. Line to third off the bat of Hannigan and caught by Uribe. Boy, that ball was maybe the hardest hit ball of the night right there.
Easily the hardest hit ball of the night. All you have to do is ask Juan Uribe his opinion about that. He took his glove off, checked his hand, and made sure it was still there. Yowza.
Guess that thing didn't hit quite in the pocket when he caught that.
Yeah, you try to get it into webbing, but you don't always plan it that way. And he obviously got it right in the palm.
He didn't want to shake that thing, though, does he? Lance Nix in the on-deck area. Bruce Bochy out of the dugout. Barry Zito, 7 2/3 innings in this game thus far tonight. That's going to be it for Barry Zito. Located under the main scoreboard in left field, the Kroger bleachers are the place to enjoy all the Reds action. Ticket prices start at just $7, and for additional savings, plan a group outing of 25 or more. Get your tickets by calling 381-REDS or go to reds.com. Our skyline call to the bullpen brings the former Red Jeremy Affeldt into the game.
He also was in last night's ball game. The hard-throwing left-hander being used just right by the Giants management this year with a 181 earned run average, 37 strikeouts in 44 innings. He's in to take care of Lance Nix.
Nix in the 8th. First pitch a strike. Nix in the game last night. One at bat as part of a double change. Doubled in the 10th inning.
Talked to him about that bat before the game today and said, you know, that's the kind of a bat that really has to make you feel good, because if you remember, the double was down the left field line, hit it very sharply, a ball going away from him against the closer Brian Wilson. It's a kind of hit that makes the batting coach excited too, using the entire field, and he'll have to use the entire field here against Affeldt. Because Affeldt looks like he wants to put him away with the breaking ball.
Good outing for Bronson Arroyo. He can still be the winner, or at least he could, as now Nix is called out on strikes. And another 1-2-3 inning. That is the 5th by Giants pitching tonight. Into the 9th we go. only on Fox. Ninth inning baseball from Great American Ballpark. One lone run pushed across in this game on the double by Nate Shearholtz in the top of the 8th. The Giants lead 1-0. New pitcher on for the Reds. The right-hander is Nick Massett.
Yeah, like a lot of the pitchers that have appeared in tonight's ball game, other than the starters, Nick Massett appeared in last night's game, an inning and a third of no-run, no-hit baseball. Walked the batter and struck out one. And he will be in here to face the right-handed part of the bottom part of the Giants lineup, starting with Ryan Garco.
Final line on Bronson Arroyo: 8 innings, 1 run, 9 hits, a walk, 5 strikeouts. Make it 5 straight quality starts for him. He can unfortunately only be the loser in tonight's game. Giannis and Phillips together, and Giannis makes the catch. Garco 2 for 4 tonight after his 2 for 5 4 RBI night one evening ago. Here's Rowan. Rowan has a couple of hits tonight, 2 out of 3. Low scoring affair for this ballpark, isn't it?
It certainly is. Matchup of a couple of pretty good pitchers tonight, and 2 teams that have struggled putting runs on the board.
Tap to the mound, and Massett makes the play, and there are 2 men out. Follow all the Reds action with MLB.com's At Bat 2009 on your iPhone and iPod Touch. Get real-time play-by-play, video highlights, and live audio broadcasts. Visit Reds.com on your iPhone or iPod Touch to purchase, and don't miss any Reds baseball this season. 2 quick outs for Juan Uribe. Nick Massett last night faced 5 batters, retired 4. Walked Uribe as the last batter he faced in last evening's game. Gets him here with 2 men out and no one on. Reds 9th will feature the top of the order: Stubbs, Giannis, and Barker. Second hit of the night for Uribe. Gives the Giants now 10 safeties in this game. They have a runner with 2 out.
He hit the bleeder down the right field line in the 7th inning, got a double out of it. They did not score in that inning, but boy, he is keyed for something on the inner part of the plate. Uribe is. Massett's first pitch, a perfect on the outside corner. Uribe let it go by without even paying much attention to it. You get him something on the inner third, and he's ready to wheel.
Ishikawa is the pinch hitter. Travis Ishikawa appeared in last night's game as a pinch hitter in the 10th and had a base hit. He pinch hits here in the top of the 9th tonight. First pitch swinging, and a left chance for the left fielder, and Valentin has it. So we'll go to the bottom of the 9th with the Giants leading 1-0. Show brought to you by the Ray Hamilton Company, Cincinnati's office movers, keeping businesses on the move. And by Wendy's. It's way better than fast food. It's Wendy's. Rain delay at the start of this game of 40 minutes. We're in the bottom of the ninth now. Quick moving contest with just the one run pushed across in the Giants' 8th inning. And Brian Wilson, who saved it last night, looks to save it again tonight.
Had a little bit tougher save tonight. He had a 2-run lead with which to work last night. Tonight, we're making a 3-run lead last night, and tonight he's got a very slim 1-run margin. But the very hard throwing Brian Wilson coming in with pretty bodacious stats. 29 for 35 in save opportunities. 52nd game already for Wilson. And not uncommon for this right-hander to get that ball up around the 100-mile-an-hour mark.
Well, it's one of those welcome to the big leagues nights for Stubbs, isn't it? Zito, Affeld, and Wilson. Drew tonight, his first major league hit in his first major league game, a double down the right field line in the 6th inning. Came against Barry Zito. Now he faces the man with 29 saves, Brian Wilson. Houston Street of Colorado leads the National League with 30 saves. Keith Bell of San Diego also has 30. Ryan Franklin of the Cardinals 30. By the way, what about the Cardinals picking up John Smoltz today?
Probably will be able to put him in the bullpen and help out a little bit.
Pudge Rodriguez going back to the Texas Rangers from Houston. Going to be a backup. Full count to Stubbs, trying to get on to start the 9th inning.
Nothing but fastballs from Brian Wilson. One of them hit 100 miles an hour. All the others in the upper 90s. He's got to throw one for strikes right here. Good job by the young Drew Stubbs laying off the high one.
Brian Wilson trying to join that group of Street, Bell, Franklin with 30 saves. Reds trying to spoil it. Strike 3 called.
How about a 3-2 slider at 88 and locked everybody up?
Stubbs had started to take a step toward first base.
Dusty Baker arguing that that pitch is high. And he may have an argument right there. Remember that the height of the strike zone, the top end of the strike zone, is a halfway mark between the shoulders and the belt. And you be the judge right there. That ball did look on the high side, especially for a breaking ball. Remember, when you're in the dugout in position of Dusty Baker, you can't see inside and outside. All you can see is up and down. That ball had to look high from where he was.
Stubbs 1 for 4 with 2 strikeouts and the first out here in the 9th. Now Dickerson will bat for Yanish. Kevin Barker waits in the on-deck circle. Chris started last night's game, went 1 for 5. Dickerson 3 out of 15 with an RBI during this homestand. Starts the day at 267 overall. As a pinch hitter, 4 out of 18. Reds have been involved in one 1-0 game this year. They won here 1-0 over the Diamondbacks on July the 1st. Count goes full. Giants been involved in 3 1-run games. All have gone 10 innings. All have been W's. Bit of a mohawk there as well.
about that? Both batters he has faced on the night, Brian Wilson, he's gone 3 balls and 2 strikes, all with fastballs. And then on the 3-2 pitch, he drops a changeup. I think that's a changeup anyway. Man, it's a slider, that is. He got Drew Stubbs on a slider called, and he got Chris Dickerson to chase that one.
Wilson does have, as we mentioned, 29 saves. He has 6 blown saves on the year. Looking for a second straight against the Reds here tonight. Barker, the last chance for Dusty Baker's club.
He had a blown save against the Reds in San Francisco.
Reds trying to avoid the 6th 1-0 game in this ballpark's history. They are 4-1 in the first 5, but they are on the short end of this one. Wilson blew that save in the first game of the series out there in San Francisco. To the second baseman. And the Giants have won the first 2 games of this series. They get their 4th 1-0 victory of the season. They win it tonight over the Cincinnati Reds and take game 2 of this series, and will go for the sweep here tomorrow afternoon. For the Reds, they'll try to salvage 1 of this